Hello, powerful one. Welcome to this edition of Inner Growth with Usezwa Elimihe. Today, we are going to be talking about the anatomy of desire. We often wonder what desire is. What does it mean? How does one desire? Well, the word desire has received some whipping from the spiritual community, and it has been seen as something negative. But let me say straight on here right now that without desire, there can be no life. Desire is an expression of livingness. It is with desire we grow or disintegrate. Desire is the motive force behind achievement in this lower plane. All right? Even desire transcends the lower plane. Mystics say that there was a time that God was all alone and he desired to be many. And that desire shot into space the light and sound principle, which is the creative force of all existence. That principle has been known as the Word. And that is what St. John in the Gospel referred to in St. John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. That desire. So every being in existence, as long as they have a livingness, they have a desire. It is that quest for the unknown. It is that quest for the bigger, the greater, the better, the sweeter, and the more beautiful. It is what makes us who we are. There is a quote associated to the Lord Buddha, which states that desire is the source of suffering. Well, I think the word desire was wrongly translated. The Lord Buddha couldn't have made a mistake. Now, it depends on what is desiring. If the ego is desiring, we know that the end result will be suffering. If the intellect is desiring, there is no way it can give you suffering, because once the intellect desires something and goes towards it, it achieves it, it gives up. It is not in the business of appropriating. The intellect goes for something, gets it, and moves on to the next. And that mentality of desiring something with so much attention and then going for it and getting it, after getting it, you celebrate it, you let go and move on to the next one. That is the ideal human mentality. It is the mentality of expansion. It is the mentality of growth. We are still talking. What is desire? I will come back to that when we come back from this break. I am Usezwa Anthony Elimihe. You know me. I am in the perpetual game of helping you grow from inside out. That is the dream. Yes, desire is what we do in order to expand and to grow. Desire is the true nature of humanity. Okay, desire expands us. Now, what do we do with desire? First of all, there are two ways we experience life. One of the ways is pleasure. When all our desires dovetail with reality, with the purpose of our being, then we have pleasure. But when our desires are in opposition to our purpose, then we suffer. To suffer is to be suppressed, is for us to be held back from the track of progress. It is to be derailed, it is to be dissuaded, to be frustrated. That is what suffering is all about. But pleasure simply means that we are swinging. We are going on the highway of life. We are just swinging up and up and up. All is looking good. It means that life and us are in coherence. That is what pleasure is, and what makes it possible. What creates pleasure is desire. The same way as suffering is created by desire. It now depends on what is the nature of our desire, because it is a self-definition that determines whether we are having a positive desire or a negative desire. Desire actually means the knocking of energies on the doors of our consciousness. Energies are knocking on the doors of our consciousness, asking to be let in. What are these energies? Where do they come from? Now you have to understand that around us, within us, is existence. There are planes of existence, from the pure spiritual domain to the quasi-spiritual to the subtle material, and then the material planes of existence. In all of these things, there are energies, different types of energy. There is the pure spiritual energy, there is the quasi-spiritual energy, there is the subtle material energy, and then there is the gross material energy. All of these things are within the human reach. The pure spiritual energy is the human soul. It is an extension of the supreme, which is the source. While the quasi-spiritual energy is the universal mind, which is, when taken lower, we get to the subtle material energy, which is also the lower level of the mind. Okay, which is where we manifest our different material desires. It is the quasi-material energy that controls the gross material energy. In fact, the gross material energies are reflections, they are manifestations, they are the clothing, or if you call it, the deification of the subtle material energy. Just as the subtle material energy is the manifestation, the clothing, the covering of the quasi-spiritual energy. The quasi-spiritual energy is the materialization of the pure spiritual energy. They are all in the lower levels, and all of these levels are in the human being. The human being epitomizes the pure spiritual energy, it epitomizes the quasi-spiritual, it epitomizes the subtle material, and then of course the gross material. If you want to know how this works, you look at yourself. If you look at the mirror, what you see out there, the mirror is the gross material energy form, which is this physical body. Everything around you is gross material energy, which is controlled by the subtle material energy. Another word for that subtle material energy is the mental energy, which is what manifests as the material form. This is why we keep saying that you should be more focused on realizing the energy level of whatever you want. When you connect at the energy level, you will easily manifest at the material level. When you make your desire 100% focused on material level by doing things physically to get these things, what happens is that you actually exert yourself, you create stress upon yourself. Because the reality is this, that the subtle material energies, the quasi-spiritual energies, and the pure spiritual energies are all knocking at the door of your consciousness. All you need to do is to be conscious, to be aware, so you can hear. Just like somebody comes to your door to knock while you are inside. If you are deep in sleep, you may not hear that knocking. Another one again, that you could be sleeping by the non-material means, which is to say you are drugged. If you are drugged into sleep by sorrow, by suffering, by all forms of drugs, you will not know, you will not hear. Sometimes you will hear that which is within your spectrum. And what exactly are we talking about? There is a saying that whatever you desire, desires you first. You get it? Whatever you desire, desires you first. The implication of that is this, that you just don't wake up to something and say you want it. That thing must first of all exist. That thing must first exist before you can even have an idea of what it looks like. If I were to tell you right now that help me desire green car, you are going to look at me and say, what is green car? You can't even begin to imagine what green car is. Because as far as you are concerned, it does not exist. The first question you will ask me is, what is Girika? Which means the word Girika does not exist in your consciousness. You want to be helped with some descriptor. to know what it looks like. Maybe it's another name for something you already know. At time I tell you something that when you stay upon, it takes you to the lower ground and then comes out with pools of water and vegetation will sprout in the environment where it has come out from. And then you become the king of that place. You're going to say, huh? How does that work? Questions upon questions. That thing does not exist. But if I give you that kind of description and tell you what it does, how it works, you begin to say, not a bad idea. I would like to have such a thing. Then it has begun to exist. How did you get to know about it? Because I told you about it, now you are desiring it. In the same way, there is nothing you are desiring that has not come to the door of your consciousness first. You just woke up to it and say, oh, I need that. That is what it's all about. So at the universal level, energies are knocking on the doors of energies. Those who wake up to this knocking, open the door if they like it. If they don't like it, ignore. So how does energy knock on the doors of energy? I say it again, I've been saying it since, it's by desire. You have a desire. It just wells within you. It lights up like a bulb. Boom. Something like a grazing thing. It fills you with so much desire it wants to possess you, because that is a desire that you have seen as superior to you. You feel longing for it. You have dwelt on it for so long, but you have never ever been able to satisfy it. So it comes to you right now with a grazing urgency. It's like a commanding thing, say, do the right thing, guy. Do the right thing, guy. That's how it goes. Some come very gently and calmly, and they are not troubling you. They just show up there. They light up your face. They light up your eyes, and you just love them. But sometimes you can throw an interpretation at them and say, too high, I can't attain this. Whatever has struck the screen of your consciousness wants you. Therefore, who are you to say you don't deserve it, but someone who is less than you? Subspecies of your being. It means you are ranging at the lowest level of your humanity. That is not the real you, because the real you deserves everything. I mean everything. Do not allow your experiences, do not allow your sayings, so to say, your shortcomings to define you. Don't allow your genetics, don't allow your family history to be the definer of your being. Your family background, your social background, your racial background are all portals through which you came into this world. They shouldn't own you. You are a citizen of the cosmos, the endless cosmos, the infinite cosmos, the beautiful cosmos, and everything that has life in the cosmos are knocking every time at the door of your consciousness, asking to be admitted. Your duty is to sieve which of them that connect best with your being. If you are not discriminatory, then it means that you will be led here and there by different types of energy forms, and you would be messed up. Safeguard your identity. Build it. That's build an identity for yourself, and then on the basis of your identity, make your demands upon life. When you are making demands upon life, my friend, you are not asking for anything that has not been offered to you. It has all been offered to you. Those knockings that are happening is open the door and let me come in. But it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of wisdom. It takes a lot of awareness energy to rise and open the right door. Because there are so many doors to your consciousness. There is well, let's not go into that. Maybe in another video we'll talk about the doors of your consciousness and see how that one goes. That's going to be a full video. So for now, it is enough to say that desire is an inherited characteristic that all living souls have. It's an expression of your livingness. And whom did we inherit this characteristic from? We inherited it from the source. It is from his desire that we came into existence, that everything you see came into existence. And on the basis of his desire, we are sustained. Therefore, hold on to your desire and Hold on to your desire until it manifests. It is surely going to manifest when your energy matches the energy of the energy behind it, the higher energy behind it. Everything has a higher energy. The car you desire, the wife you desire, the house you desire, the kind of home you desire, the career you desire, the country you desire, they all have energies. Match the energy. You know, I talked about country. You think, okay, a country is what we all share. But you see, there is the popular country, which everybody doesn't live in. Very few people have their own private country. That in spite of what is going on in the general country, their country is different. If there is police brutality in their country, it doesn't touch them. They are never going to experience it because they have a different country where police is friendly. I remember when I traveled from Lagos to Ekpoma, driving in my car, I was warned about activities of policemen on the road and all of those things. All the way I drove, every single checkpoint I stopped at, the policemen were just friendly with me. We were bantering when we had to. I didn't even have the cause to say I want to give them bribe like they say they give. I didn't. They were just nice to me, and I was nice to them in return. I remember when I got to Benin, I picked up some surveyors, took them to site to go and see some things. We were going, they were wondering how I was doing it. I got to a checkpoint. The police and the military people stopped us, and I had an exchange with them. Sometimes they just see me and they offer their knuckles. They offer me their knuckles, and we knock it. They say, "How are you doing, guys?" These guys in front didn't just understand what I was doing. Because I know these people are energy. So I reach them at the level of energy before I even hit the road. I give them love. So when they see me, what they see radiating from me, vibrating from me is love, is acceptance. And that's how it goes. Recently, I was driving again. I saw some policemen somewhere. That's just last week. And they flagged me and I said, "Officer, could you explain to me why you stopped me?" I was being friendly. And the officer said, "Yes, because you are a friend of the police. Carry the goal." And that was how I went. And my aunt looked at me, "How?" I said, "Yes, I am friends of everybody." That is how life is. It is about being at the right level of energy. If you live in a country of brutality and you are brutal towards people, you experience the brutality. Create your own natural country. It is possible. All things are possible to them that believe in themselves. Don't be shy about desire. It is your Father's nature. And whatever you desire, desires you first. What you need now to do is to match the energy of that desire. Don't forget, when desire is right and is in connection with your purpose, it brings pleasure. When desire is wrong, it means it is at variance with your purpose, therefore it brings suffering. Suffering is not welcomed in life. It is not a pro-life experience. It is a contra-life experience, something that pushes you back from life or derails you from life. People can have pleasure, and that pleasure is actually suffering. You get what I'm talking about? Imagine an addict who takes pleasure in the drugs that they are taking. Imagine somebody who's addicted to sensuality. And when they are engaged there, they feel they are pleasured. They feel that they are having the best of time. But the truth again is that they are self-destroying. There are people who have addictions for different kinds of things. At the time of taking those things, at the time of experiencing those things, they feel a kind of high. What kind of high is that? They are simply moved from a lower scale of depression to another higher scale of depression. And they stay on that high for a while. And then when that thing wears off, they descend again. And boom, takes over. And that's why they have to go back for more fixes. That is not the state of your being. Your desire is to grow. Let it be in line with your purpose.